a native of Turkey, academic Umit, who specializes in research in the confiscation of Armenian properties during the Armenian Genocide, spoke of Turkish denialism and the extreme violence and mass murders that befell on Armenians.
In Turkey, we live under so-called truth regime of deceitful policy. This regime has been able to preserve itself up to a certain period. It built itself protective castles and created a strong ideological discourse, an infrastructure, an important indoctrination process with which to buttress itself. For this purpose, the bureaucrats of the truth regime, intellectuals, and all possible ideological and bureaucratic tools for carrying out this denialist policy have been mobilized. An entire country, with its public opinion, media, history foundation, higher education foundation, Central Ottoman Archives, universities, military general staff, war history office, Ministry of Education, Board of Education and the Discipline, through history curriculums and teachers, and through the education faculties created by those teachers, has twinned itself to a historical event which took place 100 years ago. What happened in 1915? Everything was burned, finished, and turned into ashes. But these ashes were recreated. Armenian nations were recreated by these ashes, and we will carry them with our hearts and spirits. Today, as a Turkish citizen, educated in Turkish schools and this education system, today, if you ask me what happened, it was genocide in 1915, and it is still genocide today.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for lending your voice to the support of this cause. As someone who's intimately involved in understanding of Armenian genocide during the Ottoman Empire, why do you think Turkey refuses to recognize this, something that happened 100 years ago? What is Turkey afraid of?
Yeah, it's a very, very grave issue for Turkey, because if your existence depends upon the non-existence of, or absence of another identity or another subject, of course you should just keep denying, because the existence of Turkish Republic and existence of Turkish people and the community is based upon the extermination and annihilation of its other Ottoman citizens, like Armenians, like Assyrians, and the Greek population. But first and foremost, of course, the extermination of Armenians. In order to forge a new nation state, in order to forge a new national identity, they thought they had to erase the history, they had to erase the history of their Christian population and so forth. But of course, the wealth and the richness of many people in Turkey, I'm talking about ordinary Muslims, local elites, and also urban bourgeois and etc., they all based on the Armenian property and Armenian wealth as well. It is one of the major reasons why the Turkey denies Armenian genocide.
As someone who lived in Turkey, is it even feasible that at least a new generation, a progressive generation, will be curious enough to look into their past and maybe down the line come back in terms with their own history?
Yes, it's possible, and actually I am part of this generation as well. I could see myself as a part of this generation. Now Turkey, of course, there is this denialism, not only state denialism, also denialism also, is fed and breed by the different sections of society. But also there is another section of society which includes like liberal leftists and the social democrats and the democrats. This part of society, they incline to bring up Armenian genocide. They want to discuss about it. For instance, last year, more than 35 cities, the commemoration events, were held, took place, and a new generation and the historians and scholars are curious about what happened to Armenians, and they are, looking at this issue from a critical perspective, critical viewpoint. And now this part of society and also acknowledge Armenian genocide and wants to make pressure on the Turkish government to acknowledge it, to come to terms with their, you know, the dark annals of their history.
I was just told from the site here that you speak Armenian. How did that happen?
Հայերեն լեզու սորվիր համար ես հայկական եկեղեցի կացիմ Բոստոնի մեջ, Ոթուրտանի մեջ գաբրիմ, որովհետև այն հայերենի լեզու շատ կարևոր լեզու է անոր համար dissertation-ն գրել եմ, որովհետև հայերեն սորվեցամ։
Շատ շնորհակալություն։
Նմանապես։